Distinguished members of the board, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to all of you. My name is Jaime Montalvo. I am Director General of the Spanish Foreign Trade Institute, an agency in charge of promoting internationalization of Spanish companies abroad, belonging to the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Tourism of Spain. I address you on behalf of the Spanish delegation that is visiting California these days, integrated by high-ranking responsible people from the Ministry of Public Works and Transport, the Ministry of Fomento from Spain. My colleagues from the high-speed rail departments will take the floor later, if you allow us so, to give you an insight of our experience in high-speed rail in Spain. But before any other consideration, I would really like to thank you all for giving us the chance of being here today to share with you all the experience of high-speed rail in Spain. We believe that our presence here is proof of our great understanding over the years. We have signed 8 years ago a memorandum of understanding between the Ministry of Fomento and California High-Speed Rail Authority that has produced results in terms of exchanging of information. We'd like to go a little bit further this time. We are well aware that the California High-Speed Rail project has been gaining momentum, but there are still key issues under discussion, as we just witnessed. It is an experience Spain has gone through. As you very well know, we want to share our experience in facing a number of problems, and we believe this experience can be a useful input in the decision-making process that is taking place in California. Actually, California and Spain are let's say, similar in many aspects, in population, geographically, distribution-wise. We are facing some challenges that are posed by the social economic impact of high-speed rail. But Spain has definitely made a strategic decision on high-speed rail, not only on the basis of projects, but on the basis of the very high success we've attained in our first high-speed rail projects. Spain and Spanish companies have greatly been involved in all the phases of the high-speed rail process, and that includes as well the needs of financing those technical optimal solutions to deliver to the citizens. The Spanish strategic bet for high speed has resulted also in a railway sector that is a leading industry internationally. Since Spain opened its first high-speed rail line, as you very well know, in 1992, Madrid-Seville, our network has rapidly expanded, and it now ranks number one in Europe in terms of miles. We have over 1,600 miles in operation, and the objective will be to reach 6,000 miles by 2020. As I mentioned before, one of the reasons behind this strategic decision to move forward with the high-speed rail has been the immediate success of the first line Madrid-Seville. It not only proved a very efficient way of transportation that was used by so much people that shift from the air connection to rail, but it also showed economic and social profitability. Choosing Madrid-Seville raised many questions at that time. it seemed more logical to link Madrid and Barcelona, the two major cities. But there were good reasons to move forward in that direction. And we were also very much aware of the fact that high-speed rail should be a part of the whole interconnected mobility system that would take into account the different modes of transportation. And we brought larger connectivity between high-speed rail and the different metro, commuter rail, suburban systems in our cities, the ones that were getting this high speed gradually. In this process, our companies have got expertise and provide innovative and affordable solutions in all areas that are part of the high-speed rail in general. Infra, superstructures, engineering, rolling stock construction, operation. To bring innovative and affordable solutions. And to reach the highest standards of quality and safety, which is something consumers and customers demand. It will be the first country, it is the first country to have got the latest signaling system that will be implemented all across Europe, the ERTMS. And this is an example of to what extent quality is important. And companies in Spain, that's something I'd like to stress, have worked in this Spanish model together with foreign companies to develop all and to attend all the needs that such a complex kind of process and projects demand. So we are ready to work with the local partners and adapt with them to the complex scenario that high-speed rail poses. As you very well know, because we are very grateful we've got your support, tomorrow we will be holding a conference. We call it Fast Track to Sustainable Growth, California-Spain Conference on High-Speed Rail. We are bringing 25 Spanish companies, and we're going to have over 200 Californian partners to discuss on technical ways to provide solutions in high-speed rail and to share with them as well our experience. We are very ready to cooperate and give our support by all means, including our own expertise in terms of financing, public-private partnerships, so on and so forth. So with that word, I would just like to, if you allow me so, to introduce our colleagues that are to address you just right after me. First, we will have Ignacio Nieto. He's the president of INECO. INECO is the engineering arm of the Ministry of Civil Works and Transport in Spain. He will present a comprehensive overview on how Spain developed his high-speed rail network, network, and the strategic decisions that had to be made at different stages. Second, the floor will be taken by Luis López, Director General of Strategic Development of ADIF. ADIF is the Spanish railway administrator, the one in charge of infrastructures, management. And finally, Juan Matías Archilla, Director of International Projects of Renfe, as you well know, the Spanish railway operator. So we will be ready to take all the questions from the floor. And once again, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Chairman and members of the board and ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having us here and give us this opportunity to talk a little bit about our country and what we have done in the transport sector. Let me introduce myself. As my colleague said before, I am Ignacio Nieto. I'm the president of INECO. INECO is a consultancy and engineering company in Spain. I will go quick through this presentation, trying to summarize what we have done in the transport sector in Spain. Well, Spain in the late 70s and the early 80s.
Excuse me, sir. Do you mind lifting the microphone up just
Yeah.
a little? There you go. Much better.
Here?
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. So Spain it was a pretty backward country in the late 70s and early 80s compared to the rest of Europe. Actually, we were at the 70% of GDP per capita compared to the average GDP per capita in Europe. Actually, we went through a huge process of catching up with the rest of Europe during the last 30 years, mainly after our entrance in the European Union in 1986. And actually, we caught up with the rest of Europe in 2005. We reached the 100% of GDP per capita in the EU 27. So infrastructures were not an exception of this process of huge investment. We had, in 1980, a reduced highway network with only 1,000 miles unconnected and with multiple bottlenecks, few double tracks railways, 20%, and with very limited speed, low quality of urban transport, and very few airports that were not able to match with the growing tourism demand, which is our first industry. Our transport policy, as you see in the slide, were increased at the moment, and we have been investing around 1.5% of our GDP only in infrastructures of transport. We used a direct investment by the state, but also tools such as private-public financing. And we create also some companies to manage all that. INECO is one of the examples. ADIF is the other one. Later, Luis Lopez, he's the Director General of ADIF. ADIF is the owner and the manager of all the railway infrastructure. Renfe is the operator, as it is Amtrak here in America. And AENA is the owner and the manager of the airports in Spain. So all that was a huge process, as I said, and allow us to create a network of professionals and an industrial base with a high skills and a lot of expertise in this field. So the goals and the targets we have had during these 30 years have been changing. At the beginning, we focused mainly in social integration, in territorial integration, but lately we have been focusing on economic development and competitiveness and sustainability of the system. Actually, in the past, all the networks in Spain were very radial, connecting Madrid, the center, the capital, towards the periphery, and now we are trying to build a more mesh-like network to connect with corridors north-south and east-west. In roads, nowadays, currently, as many people don't know it, Spain is the leadest country in Europe. So we have even more roads, more kilometers of roads of high capacity than France and Germany. Is more than 14,000 kilometers of high-capacity roads, more than 9,000 miles, and is the first in Europe. Actually, every year we apply 2% of the asset value in maintenance, which gives us very good quality in our roads. We went through also another target, which was the reduction of the accidents, mortal accidents in our roads. Actually, we reduced during the last 10 years 50% of mortal accidents in our roads. In airports, we have a big network of 47 airports that were built, also most of them during the last 30 years, and with a capacity of 300 million passengers a year that allow us to cope with the increasing tourism demand. As I said, Spain is the first destination in Europe for tourism and is our first industry. Actually, out of this in growing in airports, a lot of companies came up in our country, and these are companies very competitive internationally. Actually, for example, Ferrovial is managing nowadays the Heathrow Airport in London through a private-public partnership. In ports also, we had huge investments during all these years, and our ports are very competitive, as Spain, as you know, is placed or located in a very strategic position in the mouth of the Mediterranean Sea, and is the first European country from the Atlantic trade. And railways, we went through a huge improvement of our railway network, and we started in 1992 with a high-speed train. Now, actually, we overtook France last year, and we are the first country in Europe with more kilometers of a high-speed train, the second in the world after China. This is something that is not very known, but we have almost 2,000 miles of high-speed train, and we will be around more than 3,500 miles soon with the lines that we are building currently. Actually, you see in the map that in the center there's Madrid. We have this corridor Madrid-Sevilla, which was the first one built in 1992. During the Olympic Games in Barcelona and International Exposition in Sevilla, and last year we opened the line from Madrid to Barcelona. The late line we opened was the Madrid to Valencia, which is this horizontal line. The main characteristics that I would like to outline from this process is that as I said, we are the leading country in Europe. We have the longest line in the world from Barcelona till Malaga, the longest line that is going to be surpassed or is going to be overtaken by the Chinese line from Beijing to Shanghai by the end of this year. But so far, this is the longest line. We achieved a good performance in speed. 90% of the route allows a speed of at least 186 miles per hour. And we achieved a record also in a commercial standard line. We are leaders in punctuality. Only Japan is ahead of us before the tsunami. 98.5% of punctuality. Safety, we reached 0 accidents and 96% of customer satisfaction. And we are pretty efficient in cost and construction. We have the lowest cost per line in Europe, and we are very quick in construction. 4 years overall. And this is even better because Spain is a very mountainous country, and our orography and topography is very difficult. Only Switzerland in Europe has more mountains than we do. So our companies had to develop huge expertise and upgrade their skills, building bridges, tunnels, and viaducts. We develop an industry as what we could call a very positive externality of high-speed train, an industry specialized on track signaling, electrification, detection systems, communication, control centers, rolling stock. So currently, at the beginning in 1992, we had to import a lot of material from other countries. For example, the rolling stock that was used in that line was from France, but nowadays, currently, we are able with our industry to construct everything and to build everything in every step of the construction of a high-speed industry. As a result of that, this is an example. 7 out of 10 largest world concessionaries in transport infrastructure are Spanish all over the world. Since 1985, out of the contracts, over 50 million euros in the world in concessions went to Spanish companies. This is the top 10 in the world. So for a country like us, that we are pretty small, is very impressive and make us be very proud of that. So these are some examples of very difficult works that we have built, and for example, we have the longest continuous panel viaduct in Europe and the longest concrete railway arc in Europe. Some years ago, there were the first in the world also, but with the Chinese, it's always difficult to be the first in construction, in the construction field. So, and before ending my presentation, I just want to say something about INECO. INECO is a consultancy and engineering company, as I said, belonging to the Spanish state. These are our shareholders, ADIF, Renfe, and AENA. So our boss is the minister, is our transport secretary. We are more than 3,000 employees with experience in all transport activities, and as a difference with other companies in Europe, we deal with all modes of transport: airports, roads, railways, urban transport, etc., which give us a very open view from the transport sector. We participate in all the steps of construction, from the design till project management, master plans, the works itself, etc. And nowadays we are going abroad because for the last 30 years in Spain we went through this huge process of investment. So we were very focused on the country, and nowadays we are working in the Gulf, in Latin America, in Eastern Europe, all over the world, in many projects. So, as a summary, I would outline the capacities, the capabilities that and the skills we have developed in Spain, both from the side of the government as a regulator, as investor, and from the side of the private sector that also invests in some public-private partnerships, and also the industry that we have developed. We have prestigious international consulting and engineering companies. We have extensive construction experience in designing, manufacturing, providing and maintaining AVE technologies. We call AVE our high speed. This is an acronym of our high speed train. We are able to develop rolling stock. We have two companies like CAF and Talgo that develop their own rolling stock for high speed train. And in the future, what we would be very proud if we can cooperate or help in the process that this country is going to launch, if that is possible in the future, in the field of the high-speed train. In any case, I'm very proud to be here, and thank you very much for listening to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Umberg.
One quick question. Sir, your first segment was from Madrid to Sevilla, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Madrid-Sevilla was the first in 1992.
Well, that's sort of similar to California, where we're starting not between two of the largest population centers, but we're starting in the Central Valley and we're building north and south.
Yeah.
Is that roughly analogous?
Yeah, it's very analogous. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Umberg, for making that point. And the next speaker.
Good morning.
Hello.
First of all, I would like to say that I am very glad, very happy to be here and to share our experience in the high-speed lines, our experience in the service, in the constructions, and in the planning. My name is Luis Lopez. I am responsible for the strategic development in ADIF, and we have prepared this presentation in, I would say, there are 7 chapters, but really we have 3, the first 3 chapters tackle the framework of all the railway policy in Europe or in Spain. The fourth one is ADIF. What is ADIF? And the third, last chapters, we try to explain our experience in the planning and constructing of the high-speed lines. The general framework, I think that we are living in a world that we are trying to make everything faster, to be more efficient, and there is important to make a balance between development and sustainability. Sustainability in two senses, in an economical sense and in an environmental, in a general way sense, and externality costs. We think that rail transport can be a very good solution for this matter, for the development and sustainability. Here you have an example of Europe and the trans-European network transportation, and nowadays there are 23 important transport projects, and as you can see in the slide, there of them 18 of them are for railways. Then I think that this means the importance of the railway in the European community and in Europe. Okay? If we zoom into Spain, you can see the map of Spain. Spain is more or less a little bit bigger than California and a little bit smaller than Texas, I think. And you know that the distribution of population is Madrid in the center, that is around all the population near 6 million, and the rest of the people is especially in the coast, and in the center is quite open, quite empty. Then as you can see, there is a very good distance for high-speed lines, around 600 kilometers, between 500 600 kilometers from the center to the coast, and the number of population is quite good for this area. This produces a quite radial network, high-speed network. How is the transportation policy in Spain? My colleague before explained the strategic plan for 2020, and in this plan, the 48.5% of investments go for railway infrastructures. In the same sense, you can see that the growing of the investments in infrastructures, the most important growing goes to the railways too. How is the railway policy in Spain? We have in the top of the diagram the Ministry of Public Works, and there are two important areas that is quite important to separate these two parts. For one side, in the left down corner is the ADIF, the company that I represent, that is the manager of the infrastructure manager. And in the other side, there are the railway undertaking companies that can operate. Nowadays in Spain, all the freights are completely liberated, and the passengers are still for national company, Renfe. And there is a railway regulator that makes the equilibrium between the two areas of the railways. The basic commercial model is ADIF. Really sell the train paths, and the rail undertaking sell the travel ticket, the operators of the train. And the subsidy policy, that is a very important point, is you can see the difference between the conventional network that really we can not cover the maintenance and the operation costs, but we cover it in the high-speed network, okay? Especially in the conventional network is because we have a very important commuters service that is public obligation. And it's very important too that the undertakings cannot receive any kind of subsidy. Then in the highest speed network we can cover absolutely the maintenance and the operation ADIF, which are the ADIF, our company build the new railway lines, maintenance and renewal of the railway network, management of the traffic operations. There's another important point, capacity allocation to the railway undertakings. And there are other 2 points very important, that we have a very important, the longest optical fiber network of Spain, that we offer the phone operators and the stations and freight terminals. We have been the most important, okay, we can stay there, it doesn't matter. We have been during this year the most important, the first investor of Spain during the year between 2005 and 2011. And these sources came the 44% from the state capital investment, the European funds the 20%, and debt the 36%.
I have a question, just real quick.
Yes, Mr. Green.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you describe the European funds?
The European funds, yes. We receive from there's like 2 parts, one for the development and for regionals and principal transport or special lines. Then we receive some fund for cohesion between the different countries of Europe.
And what's the return to those funds? How do they get compensated for putting up the money? How do those funds get compensated for putting up the money? Or are they grants? They're grants?
No.
Not grants.
We don't give the money back.
You don't have to pay the money back. They're grants.
No.
Thank you.
Okay. We have in the high-speed rail network is 2,076 kilometers. In the conventional network we have 11,000 kilometers. Optical fiber we have 16,000 kilometers, and stations we have 1,500 stations. We move 772 million people. In a touch station, that is one of the most important, is 500,000 people per day, and we move near 2 million trains per day too. Sorry, in a year, okay, per day. How is the high-speed lines in Europe? We have in service, I told before, we have under a project of construction 2,000 kilometers, and we are planning 243 kilometers too. We saw this slide before, and you can see in the left side all the points, the temporal points of the most important events for the high-speed network. Okay. This is the nowadays situation. between the lines that are in service, the lines that are under construction, and the lines that are planned. Okay. And this is an important point, that is the result in time of the new constructions, because you can see that, for instance, in Barcelona-Malaga, that is one of the longest line, we have passed from 13 hours to not 5 hours and a half, or, for instance, Madrid-Valencia, we have passed from 6 hours to 1 hour and a half. Then this is a very important point, I think. Okay. How we build a new high-speed line, and I am going to go a little bit faster. Madrid-Barcelona, for instance, is 409 miles. And at the beginning, when we are planning, we have to make ourselves some question: high-speed line or upgrade existing lines, passengers or missed traffic. We have to solve these questions before, when we are planning. Okay? We have to take into account to the government, regional and local authorities, technicians, associations, citizens in general, and to make a debate for interests, opinions, ideas, and goals. Which is the time, the medium time between the beginning until the end. For instance, from Madrid-Valencia, we have spent 7 years. We begin with some preliminary studies, accessibility, traffic analysis, etc. We make at the beginning one informative study with some different scales between the different corridors, and to try to choose the most important, the final corridor with different alternatives. There is another very important point, that is the environmental impact, the environmental study. Another important point, that this has to be approved by, we have to answer all the questions of the citizens in general, and the approve of the project is for another ministry, the environmental ministry, than the public works ministry. This is the result, that we can to reduce the time not only by the speed, if not to the new tracks. You can see in the left side the old track in a grey color with a lot of cars, and the green line. These are the costs, the general costs in the Spanish 4 kilometers. That the first one is the infrastructure is quite open, the gap, the range, because it depends a lot of in the landscape, in the orography, and the stations. And like a technology, we have developed a lot of systems that we can, especially we have switches that can give very big services. We can launch the truck in a very fast way. For electrification, we have developed specific catenaries and power telecontrol systems. For signaling, we have all the experience of kind of technologies. We have developed a second level of control with Da Vinci system. That is, we have there's in the London Underground, ADIF in Morocco, and in Lithuanian railways, and some other equipment necessary in the line that we have developed all in our country. There is another important point, that is the stations. That if we have some different, we can have some relation with different companies, private companies, to manage sometimes the stations. These are some highlights. that we say the most important works. For instance, Guadarrama Tunnel, that is one of the longest of Europe with 28 kilometers. And just to finish, I can say that our experience is that in Spain we have a cost effectiveness because we are not linked to a special technology. We have a reliability thanks to our 25 years of experience. We have a higher return of investments because we are one of the lowest builders. And it's very important the payback period because we are quite fast during construction, and at the end it's very important the highest safety and quality standards. Nothing more. Thank you very much. We have a small video. I don't know if we are in time. 3 minutes video.
Thank you. How long a video?
A video, if you want, 3 minutes.
Oh, that's good. We can do 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Could we get a hard copy of that also? A hard copy?
Thank you very much.
I'm not sure that we will be able to show the video.
All right, so it was not because we did not want to see the video. It was because the technology let me see, I wasn't going to say anything about Sacramento either. So, well, thank you very much for the presentation. That's very good. That's very good. And with that, oh, yes, thank you very much. I'm sorry. So no video, but in person, yes.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, members of the board, and thank you to the audience. Now, well, I am Juan Matías Archilla. I am Director of International Projects of Renfe, that is the operator of the high-speed services in Spain. I would like to talk to you about our company. Then I will talk about the similarities between California and Spain and similarities between your high-speed line and our main high-speed line. And then I will talk about our high-speed railway services. Renfe Operadora is the main railway undertaking in Spain. We are a government entity, and we are the only passenger train operator in the general interest network, and the main freight operator with a market share of 95% of all the freight transported by rail in Spain. We are organized with a corporate center responsible for the corporate governance of the company and also responsible for providing common services to the different areas of the company: passengers, freight and logistics, and manufacturing and maintenance of rolling stock. The total number of employees of the company is almost 14,000 persons. In 2010, we had 456 million passengers, and we ran 5,000 trains per day as an average. To have this number of passengers, we need to invest a lot of money in new trains. We have been investing more than 1 billion euros per year in the last 5 years to renew all our fleet. And so today we have the most modern train fleet in Europe. Now I will show you the similarities that we have found between California and Spain. You can see that the surface area is similar, as it's also the population. The population density is almost the same. And the GDP per capita, of course, you have a higher GDP per capita because you are the first economy in America that is the first economy in the world. And we have $30,000 per person. And talking about the transport infrastructure, the railway network is similar. We have very similar railway networks, but the difference is that we have 1,300 miles of high-speed lines. And if we see the maps of the high-speed line that you will have in the next years, we can see that you are planning a high-speed line with a top speed of 220 miles per hour. Our line between Madrid and Barcelona has a maximum design speed of 218 miles per hour, very similar, and trains are prepared for that speed. But now we are running at a maximum speed of 286 miles per hour. And the travel time between Madrid and Barcelona today is 2 hours 38 minutes. That is exactly the same time that you are planning for the travel between San Francisco and Los Angeles. And now I will talk about our high-speed services. And I will begin with the first line between Madrid and Seville, but I will go quickly because you have heard about this. As you can see here, we only needed 5.5 years between the government decision and the beginning of the operations. This first line was a success, as we can see in the next slide. Before the high-speed line and the high-speed services, 60% of the passengers were traveling between Madrid and Sevilla by car, and only 14% were using the train. But only 1 year after the beginning of the operations, 52% of the passengers were using our high-speed train with the commercial name AVE. We got the demand mainly from cars and airplanes, and also from conventional trains, 13%. But, as you can see here, we created a new demand of 34% of people that didn't travel before. And this represents an increase in the economy of the area. Now I will talk about our model of high-speed services that is different than the model in other countries, mainly in Europe. We have a different approach with 3 distinct services using the same infrastructure: the long distance, the regional, and the long distance dual gauge trains. With 3 services, we offer different fares, and so our trains are affordable to almost all the Spanish population. We have decided to have a high-quality service. The high-quality service begins when you are thinking about your trip, and continues when you enter the station with a personalized service in our customer service offices in the stations. And another important thing is that through our service attendant, we guarantee the right to travel to people with reduced mobility. In 2010, we offered assistance to 293,000 passengers with reduced mobility, with an increase of 24% over the previous year. Here you can see our VIP lounges in our high-speed stations. And the new one opened last December. And some services that we offer on board: the welcoming drink, newspapers, menu service, and the bistro car for passengers using our economy class. And the most important is the travel time. We have the better travel time in the world, with an average speed of 221 kilometers per hour, 137 miles per hour. This is the average speed, but in the Barcelona line, we reach an average speed of 238 kilometers per hour, 148 miles per hour, and in the Valencia line, 247 kilometers per hour, 153 miles per hour. We have created a brand for our high-speed trains, a brand called AVE, a premium brand, with an awareness of 92% of the total Spanish population. But this is the awareness of the average awareness of the brand, but I would like to point out that only 69% of the population has high-speed services. This is the main service in our high-speed network, the high-speed long-distance service, with a top speed of between 186 and 218 miles per hour, with the 3 types of rolling stock that we are using. This is, as I have told you, the main product. This is a profitable product with no government compensations. And in summary, we offer 49,000 seats every day in our 156 daily services. But we don't begin the operation in the route, in the whole route. We began the operation step by step. In 2003, we began the operation between Madrid and Lleida. Later, in 2005, we opened a new branch to Huesca. In 2008, we began the services until the Camp de Tarragona near Barcelona, and in 2008, we opened the full line between Madrid and Barcelona. So as you can see here, you don't need the whole line to begin the operation. The line is not finished. We will begin the services with the French border by the end of 2012. The second service using the high-speed infrastructure is the high-speed regional services with a top speed of 155 miles per hour. This is considered a public service, so fares are approved by the government, and as the price paid by passengers don't cover the cost, we have to receive a compensation for this type of services. We offer 25,000 seats every day in our 88 daily services. And the third service using the high-speed infrastructure is the high-speed dual-gauge service. You know that in Spain we have 2 different gauges, the standard gauge for the high-speed lines and a broader gauge for the conventional lines. So through our high-speed dual-gauge trains, we expand the benefits of the high-speed lines to the rest of the country. You can see there in the dotted lines the services that we run from Madrid to the rest of Spain, mainly to the north of Spain that don't have yet the high-speed infrastructure. These type of services are globally profitable. Also, we have some services that individually are not profitable. We are offering almost 20,000 daily seats. In summary, we operate 202 train sets with 314 services every day and almost 100,000 seats every day. And this is the fleet we are using for our high-speed services. Fleet with trains from different manufacturers that are working in the same infrastructure. So we have integrated different technologies in the same infrastructure. We have also created joint ventures between Renfe and the private sector. We have joint ventures with the main manufacturers of rolling stock with Siemens, CAF, Bombardier, Alstom, and Talgo. And talking about the prices, you can see here the prices in the first line, Madrid-Sevilla line. You have the travel time and the price. You can see how the high-speed train has lower prices than the plane in this route. You can travel between Madrid and Sevilla from 29 euros per trip to 157 euros. In the Madrid-Barcelona line, we are now in a price war between high-speed trains and planes, and this has caused an important reduction in the price of the ticket of the planes, with offers from 49 euros per trip. Using our high-speed trains, you can travel for 45 euros. But if you consider the travel time, you can see that travel time is similar between plane and high-speed train if you consider all the transport chain between your origin and your destination. Today, the travel time between Madrid and Barcelona using a plane is 3 hours 15 minutes, and using our high-speed trains is 3 hours and 33 minutes. But you have some advantages using high-speed trains. You have more time inside the train, so you can work, you can use your laptop, you can use your telephone. And the second main advantage is the reliability of high-speed trains, because you always arrive on time. And here you can see the prices and travel time of our high-speed regional services. Now I will talk about our quality commitments.
I have just a quick question first before you go.
Yes,
leave
Mr. Crane.
profitability. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So you say you're profitable on most routes.
Yes,
Is that, do you define profitability as, if I remember an earlier chart, 36% of your capital gets a return, because that's provided by commercial banks. The rest
I
of
have
your
information about that. This is the results of the operation, not the infrastructure. But I have figures about that later.
So you're coming to that?
Yeah.
I see, okay.
Chairman Pringle, can I ask a quick
Yes, sir,
question?
Mr. Toledo.
Can I ask just a quick question before you go on? One of your slides that you just presented talked about the capacity. I think it was 94,000, just under 100,000 seats per day that you had the capacity. And I thought I heard you say that there's about 20,000 passengers per day. So you're running at about a 20% capacity. I want to make sure I have the numbers right.
So, when I talked about the number of passengers, it was the total number of passengers of the company, including not only high speed, including high speed
Yes.
and conventional services.
Can you just share with us what the capacity, what the occupancy is currently, or the traffic on the high-speed rail relative to the capacity?
The load factor of our high-speed train is between 70 and 80%.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Here you can see how we established our punctuality commitment on September 1994. We reimburse the total ticket price if a train in the Madrid-Sevilla route arrives with a delay of 5 minutes or more, and we reimburse the money in cash. We can do this because we have the second highest punctuality in the world, with 98.5% of our trains with a delay of 3 minutes or less. And that's why our customers are very happy, even when we have a delay. As you can see here, when we arrive with a delay, this is what happens in our trains. This on-time commitment was a success, so we implemented different commitments on other products, long-distance and regional trains, not with 5 minutes, of course. And we also compensate passengers for lags or deficiencies in our services on board. And now I'll talk about the demand in our high-speed services. You can see there, last year we had 16.7 million passengers in our high-speed long-distance services, 10.9 million passengers in our high-speed regional services, long-distance, and 5.8 million in our regional, high-speed regional services. This is only very high-speed passengers. The market share between Madrid and Sevilla, we had a market share of 34% before the high-speed line. The first year we reached more than 50%, and now we have 85% of the market share compared to the plane. In the new routes, in the Madrid-Malaga route, we had 28% before the high-speed line. Now we have 70% of the market share. And in the new line between Madrid and Barcelona, we began on February 2008. Before the high-speed line, we had a market share of 12%. Today we have 45% of market share. But you have to take into account that this corridor, this air corridor between Madrid and Barcelona is the busiest corridor in Europe. You can see there the market share of the train, 44.99%, and the first airline has a market share of 25.87%. In the new lines, Madrid-Valencia, we began the services last December 2010. We had a 42% market share before the high-speed line as an average in 2010. Today we have, only 4 months after the opening of the line, 81% of the market share. And as a summary, you can see here the relation between market share and travel time in all our high-speed or high-quality service. And now this is the information about the operating cost of the Madrid-Barcelona corridor and the profit. This is about the operation. You can see there that we pay 34.92% of our cost to the infrastructure manager. That's the cost that we pay for the use of the infrastructure. We pay 20% of our cost for rolling stock, to buy rolling stock and to maintain the rolling stock. And we get a profit in 2010 of 19% of the total income. And we'll talk about other benefits of high-speed services. During the construction of the high-speed line, the GDP of the region related to construction and civil engineering grows a lot, but it's a punctual effect. But the effects of the operation that begin when you begin the services is a continued growth that remains year after year. High-speed services have also very important effects on service industry, as you can see here. In the areas where we have high-speed lines and we began the operation almost 20 years ago, you can see how the average of hotel beds have increased a lot because high-speed transport promotes trips and promotes the staying in hotels. You can see also how not only have increased the number of hotel beds, the other effect has been the increase in the stay and also the increase in the average stay. And high-speed services have also effects on the evolution of the population. It has a high impact during the construction and a second stage of effects after the construction due to the services. Even small populations that were decreasing their population because they were industrial cities have short-cut that population loss. Our important thing is the external cost savings. For example, in the Madrid-Barcelona corridor with 5.5 million passengers per year, we saved 141 million euros last year in external cost with the breakdown that you can see there, 77.9 million due to climate change, 8.8 due to air pollution, and 53.5 million due to accidents. And talking about the environmental benefits of high-speed rail in Spain, You can see how we saved the emission of 522 million tons of CO2 last year with our high-speed services. One passenger using our train has an emission of 13 kilos of CO2, but if you use the plane, the emissions are 70 kilos. Now I will talk about the customer profile. In our high-speed long-distance service, 59% of passengers are men, 40% are women. The main age is between 30 and 44 years. And people are traveling for work, business, leisure, family, and for any reason, with a medium-low frequency, a frequency of between once per month and once every 3 months. And the ticket is paid, 55.5 are paid by passengers and 40% are paid by the companies. When customers are using our regional services, the gender is more balanced, more or less 50 men, 50 women. And the reason for travel are different. Mainly, 56.6% travel for work. And that's the reason why tickets are paid by the traveler, not by the company. Our customers are satisfied or very satisfied, as you can see here, in our high-speed services between Madrid and Barcelona. People rate our punctuality with 9.52 out of 10. The overall quality is rated with 7.99, and value for money is rated with 6.9. But this is not only in our new services. We have satisfied customers, and we keep them satisfied year by year. You can see how the satisfaction is very similar in the first line, opened in 1992, and the line between Madrid and Barcelona, with more than 60% of our customers satisfied, and between 30 and 35% very satisfied. Not only our customers are satisfied or very satisfied. The general public in Spain has a good or very good image of our high-speed services. You can see only 0.3% or 0.7%, depending if they live in the corridor or outside the corridor, have a bad image of our high-speed services. And that's all I have prepared to tell you this morning. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. Very nice presentation.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Balganorth, you have ridden on the Spanish system?
I actually did. I rode from, last October I was in Spain and had a chance to ride from Madrid to Sevilla. I was very impressed with the train. The accommodations were great. You could, as you said, you could get up and walk around. You can visit with people. I really enjoyed it. It was very impressive.
Very good. Well, thank you all for being here. Very nice and complete presentation. And yes, we did get a video out of it, so that was nice.